Good day, everyone. I think it's morning still, I'm not sure. I know it's hot, so we're not going to keep you all here much longer. Again, good day. My name is Janet Abrahams. Can everyone hear me? I am the Executive Director of the Housing Authority of Baltimore City. Yay! Woohoo! My biggest fan back there, ladies and gentlemen. I want to again welcome you all, and just to give you a few background words. The goal of the Perkins Transformation Plan is to transform the Perkins, Somerset, and Old Town neighborhoods. The plan focuses on the transformation of the community by improving housing access, resident success, and neighborhood vibrancy. HABC is charged with improving the well-being of residents by attracting investments to our public housing community, such as this one, Perkins Homes. We're here today because of our shared commitment to transforming Perkins Homes and the surrounding Somerset Old Town communities into a community of choice that is inviting, promotes resident pride and unity among neighbors, and is integrated into the surrounding community. A new model for a 21st century urban neighborhood. The PSO stands for Perkins Somerset Old Town. You will hear that acronym as we go through the day today. Its boundaries is a reflection of what we refer to as the hole in the donut. I like to say, this reminds you, these boundaries remind you of a blanket, a beautiful blanket that you own, and over time you wear and tear and have a hole, and you know that you need to knit that blanket back together so that you can create one. That is what the hole in the donut represents, in which several neighborhoods were combined to allow for the targeting and coordination of fragmented investments and activities to leverage their anticipated income. The boundaries overlap with the city-designated neighborhood planning areas and incorporate key community landmarks and assets. Located within minutes of downtown, Perkins Somerset Old Town is a community of 5,939 residents in 2,122 households. HABC sees itself as a collaborator. We collaborated on this endeavor with our mayor, HUD, elected officials, residents, the community city partners, and our development team. The partner in this endeavor with HABC, ladies and gentlemen, is the City of Baltimore. And with that, I would like to introduce Mayor Catherine Pugh.
Let me begin by saying this is a great day. It is a great day in Baltimore. And you heard me scream when Janet was at the mic, and she's absolutely right. I am one of her biggest fans. And the reason being is because when I became mayor, one of the things that I said I was going to do was separate HABC from HCD. And the reason I said I was doing that is because if you go to every major city in this country, they are separate agencies. And when they are separate agencies, they get to focus on their goals. And the goals of HABC is to partner with the city to help transform neighborhoods, but to also improve the lives of those who live in this community. Every single resident within the footprint of this development, the Perkins Homes development, will have an opportunity. We will improve living conditions for you first. You come first. Let me just say to HUD, you know, we had several visits, and I got to throw my school in here. because I want you all to know that you put the icing on the cake. Where's our City Springs? Give City Springs a big round of applause. HUD, we know you saw cities around the country compete. We got in the top 20 to compete, and then we got into the top 6, and then we showed out and showed off. I know there was no better presentation than the presentation made here in Baltimore. It is about the collaboration, the coordination, and the ability to work across what used to be called silos. We don't have silos. We work with HCD, we work with HBC, we work with the private sector, we take in consideration those who live in our neighborhoods, in our communities, our schools. All of them become a part of what we will attract almost $800 million in investment in this area because of this coordination. This $30 million investment or grant investment, you're going to get a real good return on this investment. By HUD to Baltimore represents the future of the city of Baltimore. This is the kind of investment that I've been talking about. Investing in neighborhoods, investing in communities that have been underinvested for decades. Our community is a community of people who care about this city, who want an opportunity to live in quality housing, to be able to afford to live in quality housing. That's what this project here represents today. There are so many people to thank, but I want to begin by saying to HUD, thank you. I want to begin by also saying to our state and our federal partners, our elected officials, thank you. Because this is not just HUD's investment, this is state investment, it is also local investment as well. And so I want to say to the HUD Secretary, Ben Carson, thank you. To our Mid-Atlantic Regional Administrator, Joseph D. Felicia, I think I said Felice. Okay. Well, I know Carol Payne. But, you know, I just want to say thank you, Joseph. But we know that in November of 2017, the city of Baltimore competed heavily for this, and we worked together to make this happen. The redevelopment of Perkins Homes and the surrounding communities really is essential to the future growth of Baltimore. I want to also acknowledge our City Council President. I think he sent a representative who's here with us, Charles Jackson. I also want to acknowledge our interim commissioner, Tuggle, but you'll hear from our comptroller. We know what investment in neighborhoods and communities can do. I want to thank our councilman, Stokes, who understands the importance of this neighborhood and this community and what it will mean to the citizens of Baltimore. I think I see our deputy state director, Chuck Connor, on behalf of Senator Van Hollen. Thank you for being here. I saw our state Senator Ferguson, who works hand in hand, getting ready to get a big appointment. I won't spoil it. It'll be announced next week. He's here with us. So don't think that, change that happens doesn't mean that great things will happen for Baltimore. Won't happen, because they will, and you'll hear about it as we continue to move forward. Delegate Brooke Learman, thank you so much for your leadership. It is so important to all of us. And certainly cannot leave out our Commissioner of the Housing and Community Development, Michael Braverman, because he gets it. Most of all, I want to again thank the residents of Perkins, or the PSO as we call it now, because we're a part of a greater community. I'm just so thrilled for all of us, not just the residents here and the residents that will come and surround us, but I'm really thrilled for Baltimore. We can talk about the negativity, but we can also talk about the great things that are happening in the city. I tell people whenever I get a mic in my hand, I have to let the citizens of Baltimore know that violence is trending downward in our city because of the work that we are doing, working together with our commissioner every single morning, Monday through Friday. All of my agency representatives, I won't say agency heads because I know who's in the room, are together and have developed relationships, working together, working with Safe Streets, working with the different organizations in our city to continue to reduce violence in our city. We will become one of the safest cities in America because of these kinds of collaborations. The Residents Advisory Board, Ella, Denise, Iris, just give a shout out, you all. You all have been a part of this. You help us to make sure that we're focused on doing the right things by our residents. The 6,000 residents in this transformation zone. The Perkins, Somerset, Old Town Transformation Plan is about to become a reality. All of the partners. I think about the developers who jumped into this project early, who listened to the residents, who become a part of this community, who understand how valuable the lives of the people who live in our city are. When we lift the lease, we lift all of us. And the transformation is going to be remarkable. The future of our city is bright. It's bright because we know how to put elbow grease to the grind and make real things happen. Janet, you came in here, you didn't skip a beat. You put your head down, you went to work, and you struck a home run early. So the only thing I have to say, Bill and Pete, the expectations are high. Because here's what we're doing here. And I can't wait to see what we do with the rest of the city. This is our city. This is a great beginning for pushing our city forward. Pete, I'm just looking so much forward to the $57 million investment pool that we've created to continue to invest in underinvested neighborhoods. Neighborhoods, again, that have gone neglected for decades. And so today, it's not about pointing fingers. It's not about looking backwards. It's about looking forward. I am so excited. I hope that you all are, because I can't wait to get to the finish line for this project, but more importantly, to continue to move our city forward. Thank you, and God bless.
I want to thank our mayor for those kind words. They reminded me I needed to remove my shades. So we're pleased to not only preserve affordable housing, but also to increase the number of affordable housing within this neighborhood. In collaboration with HUD, Mayor Pugh, and the development team, which is made up of city agencies, developers, service providers, community partners, with a shared commitment to transform this wonderful neighborhood. With that in mind, our partners, HUD, the Housing and Urban Development, is one of the only funder to our HABC. And so the Housing Authority is grateful that Mr. Joe DeFelice is here today to, I got it. We are pleased to have the HUD and Mid-Atlantic Regional Administrator Joe Felice with us today. I would like you to. Come forward.
Great. Thank you. All right. It's getting a little bit hotter out here, huh? Yeah. All right. So, thank you. On behalf of the President and Secretary Carson, I'm really excited to be here today. Especially want to thank Mayor Pugh, Director Abrahams, Commissioner Braverman, Councilman Stokes, and many partners here today. We also have some other special guests with us. I want to recognize Chuck Connor from Senator Van Hollen's office, Mutali Matambo from Rep. Cummings' office, as well as Reverend Jerome Stevens from Senator Cardin's office. I was hanging out with Jerome a little bit earlier today. But, I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank the people that are actually on the ground doing the work for us, and that's the people in our Baltimore field office, our excellent staff. Miss Carol Payne. Carol's a rock star. She cares. I've never seen a person care as much about the city of Baltimore as Carol Payne does, and trust me, I hear about it every time I come down here. And also, he's new in this role, but not new to the work, and that's Russell D'Souza, the great job he's doing as our public housing director at our Baltimore field office. This is the part of being a regional administrator that I really enjoy. Most times I go places and people just complain to me and beat me up on a regular basis. So it's actually nice to have people smiling and being happy to see me. It's about helping communities and neighborhoods partner with the federal government to transform and improve the living conditions and the quality of life for thousands of families. Today, in Flint, Michigan, Secretary Carson is announcing $144 million in Choice Neighborhoods grants for 5 select communities: Flint, Michigan, Phoenix, Arizona, Shreveport, Louisiana, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. And by now, you might have guessed, Baltimore is the 5th community. I am very happy to announce a $30 million Choice Neighborhood implementation grant for the City of Baltimore and the Housing Authority of Baltimore City to help implement the Choice Neighborhood Transformation Plan for the PSO, Perkins, Somerset, and Old Town neighborhoods. So we're going to pause. We're going to take a picture.
Hey, gentlemen, we're still filming. Photogs, we still filming too. Okay. In the back, make sure we can see you. Come on around. Looking good. This is the black and white dress. I'm still taping. You got it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was trying to get it so that it's not crooked.
Okay, yeah, we can adjust it.
Okay, thank you.
Go get your single. Go get it.
We're gonna go count out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Photogs, you let the videographers get their shot too.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got ours, fellas. Here we go. Thank you.
You can put it down now. You don't have to stay on hold. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. If I'd have been aware that this would have been this well received, being from Philadelphia, I would have tried to figure out a way to get into a Manny Machado deal, but didn't quite work out for us. But I was here about a year ago. I toured Perkins' home. I toured with the secretary, and I came back a couple months later. And, unfortunately, we have a saying a lot of times in HUD, a lot of these places were built to last. Unfortunately, a lot of these places were built to last. So I'm looking forward to the transformation you guys have coming. So in 2015, the Housing Authority in the city financed a planning process inspired by the Choice Neighborhood model. They engaged hundreds of residents, formed a steering committee of 22 committed stakeholders, and worked collaboratively to develop a plan for revitalization. Now they will use their $30 million grant to make that plan a reality. Overall, every dollar in Choice Neighborhood funding they receive, the 5 awardees and their partners will leverage an additional $9 in funding for their proposals. This is a win-win for everyone involved, from HUD to local governments to community nonprofits and faith-based groups to the vulnerable families looking for a better life. Our Choice Neighborhood grants are specifically focused on 3 core goals. In housing, we are looking to replace distressed properties with top-quality mixed-income housing. For families we serve, we are going to vastly improve the outcomes of households in those communities by connecting them with employment, health, and children's education. And for the neighborhoods chosen for these grants, we are aiming to create conditions that lead to stronger, stable families such as better schools, commercial activity, and more. So what do we hope to achieve in Baltimore? Vibrant mixed-income housing, rejuvenated commercial corridors, redeveloped blighted properties, and enhancing public safety. Ultimately, the transformation plan envisions that the revitalization of Perkins Homes will serve as a catalyst to transform the entire neighborhood and intentionally connect it to the economically booming adjacent neighborhoods and anchor institutions. This is the kind of attention and support that stimulates public and private reinvestment in distressed neighborhoods. And let me add, to those families and neighbors which have rode out the hard times, we're going to make sure that you are not displaced by the good times that are sure to come from the investment and the grants. Thank you again, and congratulations, Baltimore City.
Exciting times, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting times. We want to thank HUD for considering Baltimore City for the Choice Neighborhood Implementation Grant and for their continued support of transforming neighborhoods in sustainable mixed-income communities. We also want to acknowledge, which our HUD representative already did, but we would be remiss as a housing authority if we did not thank the Baltimore Hub office, Carol Payne and her team. Thank you. We realize that we cannot do this alone. Our city elected officials are partners in this plan, which will facilitate critical improvements that support safe, thriving neighborhoods. With that said, I would like to introduce you to one of our biggest cheerleaders, Councilman Robert Stokes.
First, I'd like to give honor to God because this is a great day here in Baltimore. Look at the sun. It's great. This is a proud day for me. I'm proud because planning for this entire project to redevelop Perkins, Somerset, and Old Town Mall has been in the making for a long time. And it feels good to get this grant so we can begin to change lives. The $30 million Choice Neighborhoods Grant will allow for continued redevelopment in this area, an area that has been overlooked in the past. The Choice Grant isn't just about redevelopment of the buildings and structures in Perkins, Somerset, and Old Town Mall. The Choice Grant marks the beginning of revitalization of a community which is in desperate need of attention. That means empowering the people to make changes in their lives that will ultimately improve their life. A new city spring school, our community parks, programs that focus on training for better employment opportunities, focus attention on healthier lifestyles to improve health outcomes, safer communities for individuals and families to live and work where children can play. None of these would be possible without the support of Mayor Pugh. Thank you. The state of Maryland and HUD, Baltimore City Housing Authority, Ms. Janet Abrams and her great staff, Baltimore City Housing Community Development, Mr. Braven, the Commissioner, and your great staff. The development team, McCormick, Byrne, and Salzar. Mission First, Henson Development, Beatty Development, Urban Strategies. And I just want to say one thing before I finish though. You know, as we continue to build buildings, we better keep in mind that we better continue to build people's lives, because that's going to make the difference in this whole project. I'm honored and humbled to be the councilman in this district, and I thank everyone who's been a part of this effort. Thank you.
And now we will hear from our comptroller, Joan Pratt.
Good afternoon, everyone. Compliments to Mayor Pugh, Council President Young, Councilman Stokes, HABC, HUD, HCD, DHCD, and a special congratulations to Perkins Homes, its residents, and everyone connected to this exciting venture, receiving the Choice Neighborhoods Initiative Award. That's right. As a member of the Baltimore City Board of Finance, I was pleased to endorse the conceptual approval for this initiative. The receipt of choice funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development is a substantial step forward for this project. It will place our completion date in full view. This project will be an anchor in the turnaround and redevelopment of East Baltimore. And as the comptroller and as a CPA, I like checks. I especially like the checks that are presented to Baltimore City, our great city, proving that Baltimore is a city on the move. Perkins Homes, like many other components of Baltimore, is a great part of our history. The fact that it is going to be remade to include not just public housing, but sustainable units for all income levels is cause for great celebration. All of us get to work together to improve upon Baltimore's history. I look forward to every phase of this project and anticipate the day when we come back for the ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you again, Mayor Pugh, and everyone who worked diligently to bring us the Choice Neighborhoods Initiative Award. Congratulations.
I have to keep saying it is a great day. Yes. The PSL transformation project plans to achieve 3 major goals. As the councilman said, we will be focusing on people, neighborhood, and housing. One of the most intricate partner in our neighborhood initiative, I would like to ask Commissioner Braverman to please come forward. I call him my partner in crime, ladies and gentlemen.
And I feel that we are partners, but I got to lower the mic after I follow Janet. Thank you, Janet, and thank you, Madam Mayor. Distinguished guests, there's a great future for Baltimore. It's a great future for this neighborhood. It's exciting to be part of such a competent, such an incredible team in executing it. I want to add my sincere thank you to HUD for awarding this grant to Baltimore and for the extraordinary opportunity we have to get things done differently here in Baltimore. Differently by placing our residents, our Perkins residents, and their well-being at the forefront of our revitalization efforts. So thank you for being with us today. Joe, it's really great to have you here, for bringing this wonderful news and for this big check. Really appreciate that. What we're celebrating really for today for this community is part of a realization of Mayor Pugh's vision for neighborhoods across Baltimore. It's to redefine what community development looks like and who benefits, with a deep focus on building capacity and opportunity and finding ways to strategically leverage resources and partnerships. So thank you, Mayor Pugh, for that vision going forward. And I want to thank everybody. I'm not going to go through all the names. It's hot. Everybody's covered them. But I want to thank everyone who's fought and worked hard with all of us to get this opportunity. All of our elected officials, local, state, and federal, have played an critical part in our success, along with all of our partners who are here today and our residents, who are all the heroes in this effort. Most often unseen, but heroes in this effort that helped us win the award. And a special shout out for Councilman Stokes and his leadership in getting us here today and continuing to carry the ball forward down the field till we succeed. And as the mayor and Janet Abraham stated, we're beginning the process today by breaking down 50 years of barriers, policies and practices that really read, you're not part of our city, you're not part of our community. But in fact, the planning that led up to today's award, and no doubt the reason we're receiving it, has been that the residents have guided our Go Forward neighborhood plan, which is our neighborhood plan. And as everyone mentioned, there's a housing plan, there's a people plan, and there's a neighborhood plan guided by our residents. And through the neighborhood plan, HCD, the city, state, and community partners, and most important, the residents, are working to create new open spaces here, a new City Springs Park and a pool that's a better amenity, and to ensure that Chick Webb is around for another 70 years. Our neighborhood plans and projects focus on creating a sense of place and connectivity so that our residents can move seamlessly, not only from one part of this neighborhood to another, but to more easily access retail, services, and jobs. So by celebrating who we are through art, gateway markers, and events, all of Baltimore will come to understand the importance of Perkins, the residents who came before us, and those who are here with us now. I know that we often see vacant buildings as an obstacle, Mayor, but in this case, in the Old Town Mall, it's a real opportunity for us going forward to create new businesses and restore the Old Town Mall to its vibrancy as a neighborhood retail district. So towards that end, to support all our current residents, the mayor's committed additional resources to support current homeowners who want to improve their homes and take advantage of the go-forward neighborhood so they can stay, to provide new incentives to ensure that new affordable home ownership is obtainable, and additional resources to support startup businesses and entrepreneurs. Thank you, Mayor. So there's a lot of work to do. Those of us who think about what the future looks like, it's a bright future. It's a great team with which to do that work. What an opportunity. And I want to express my gratitude for all the people that worked so hard to get us here today. And I want to thank everyone in advance for the hard work we're going to do together, our federal, state, our community leaders, our partners at Urban Strategies, at Living Classrooms, our partners in our development community and in our neighborhoods. There's a lot of work to do going forward. What a great city. I am so excited about working with all of you to see these plans that have been underway for so long come to life. Let's put our hands together for Baltimore and the future together. And maybe the Orioles next year.
Built in 1942, Perkins Homes has been a long outlived its useful life. It is important that we talk about Perkins Homes today because this beautiful structure that you see behind you will disappear. We as HABC understand that we could not be here today without recognizing the heart of this neighborhood, which is our residents. I would like to introduce Perkins Homes Tenant Council Vice President, Denise Street.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Let's get this going. I personally would like to thank. I personally would like to thank the Perkins Home Tenant Council and the residents of Perkins Homes would like to thank HUD, thank you, the City of Baltimore, and everyone that helped us with this. Thank you!
Right, so I'm just going to move this along fairly quickly. Our partners, I would be remiss if I did not talk about our partners real quick. Our partners have been working together for the past 4 years to get us to this point. We have the federal and state officials representing Secretary Holt's office. We have Deputy Secretary Tony Reed representing Congressman Cummings' office. We have Mutel, I don't want to mess up, Matumbo. Hi, did I get it right? Okay. Senator Cardin's office, we have Jerome Stevens. Yay. We also want to thank our HABC staff and our commissioners. There were days, ladies and gentlemen, that I just wanted to go home and pack up my desk and just forget that the day happened. But the staff was wonderful. They were steadfast. They had a goal. And of course, you know, I'm goal-oriented. And so they were serious about making this a dream come true for the residents. So I want to make sure we thank Peggy. Oh, there she is. She is so tall. I want to thank Peggy because without Peggy's guidance and without her ability to look past certain things, she was able to really keep us on point. I want to thank the city departments. We have so many departments to thank, and what I decided to do was not to mention each one individually because I don't want anyone to run over me when I cross the street. We want to thank our developers. We have Beatty Development, Michael Beatty. I know we have Tim Pula here today. McCormick Barron Salazar, we have Michael C. Duffy. Hanson Development, Dan Hanson and his team. I saw him and his daughter here today. Mission First, Sarah Constant. We want to thank our residents and our resident leaders for their undying support. Of course, Baltimore Schools. We want to thank the City Spring students because I believe if you were at the presentation that we did back in November, ladies and gentlemen, these children brought it home for us. So I want to thank them. I want to thank our anchor institutions. They are part of this process. Our community partners and committed service providers. And most of all, I want to thank EJP Consulting Services. They were the wind beneath our wings, ladies and gentlemen. They took us to a place where we never dreamt we would be today. They worked on this application, they worked with us, they kept us focused, and I want to thank Ray Parks, who is the representative from EJP that worked with us. Now that we have been graciously awarded the $33 million CNI grant from HUD, we will continue working on the various aspects for the first 6 months of the working plan. In fact, when we leave here today, one of the working groups will convene next week to move forward to the immediate plan. This is an exciting time for the city. This grant award will allow us to produce real change for residents in the PSO footprint area, according to HABC's vision, which is to create diverse and vibrant communities, providing opportunities for self-sufficiency, and building pathways for a strong partnership. I want to thank our mayor. I want to thank HUD, the residents, and all of our partners for bringing this to light. I never thought when I got here 10 months ago that I would be standing here in front of you.
Great job.
So thank you. Thank you. Told you, my biggest fans back here. So this concludes our program. However, one of the things that we have decided to do today is a walking tour. I know it's hot, but I think it would be great for all of us to take a walking tour and really see what we're talking about when we talk about knitting this community back within the broader neighborhoods. Peggy, raise your hand. If you can line up with Peggy, she will start the tour. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, this is a great day for Baltimore City.